Good morning and welcome to Mindful Movement. I'm your host, Tawana Wright, and we're getting ready to kick off our yoga event today. Welcome Becca Impala, our instructor. Becca, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Tawana. It's a beautiful wintry day down here in Alabama.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, if you're joining us for the first time, we're broadcasting live with AARP Alabama, and we thank you for joining us. It's definitely winter today. And across most of the country, you're experiencing power outages and record chills. So, folks, we want to remind you that AARP is a 501c4 organization with more than 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate on their behalf, all of them, without regard to politics. AARP is empowering people to choose how they live as they age. So, Becca, what are we going to be looking at today in our yoga class?
Well, Tawana, just to let everyone know, especially people who may be joining my teaching for the first time, I'm a physical therapist for 20-something years, and I've been teaching yoga almost the same amount of time, and I teach from a very accessible and therapeutic perspective. So I'm going to be taking you guys through some yoga breathing, some yoga movement that'll really kind of get us warmed up. That's my goal, is on this cold day to get a little bit of energy flowing in our body. I'm going to show you different ways to do the same position so that if you need an alternative to, let's say, one way of doing it, you have some choices about it. So I'll be using a chair some of the time. I'll also be down on the floor on my mat. You could be down on your carpet. You could use a kitchen chair. So I'm going to show both options, and you get to choose what you think is going to work the best for you at home.
That sounds great. Folks, remember, before you begin any type of exercise regimen, you need to contact your physician and make sure that you are clear to engage in those exercises. So without any further ado, Becca, I'm going to get out of the way so you can get us.
All right. So we're going to start just seated. I'm going to go ahead and sit in my chair to start with. If you would prefer to sit on the ground, if you think you're going to do most of the yoga on the floor, feel free to sit down on the ground. You can sit down on a pillow or a blanket if you'd like, or you can sit right in that chair. Okay. So we're just going to take a moment to sit up tall. Check in. Just take a moment. Notice how your body feels this morning. Notice what your energy is like. And even check in with what's going on inside your head. You don't have to fix anything there. You don't have to do anything with it, but just sort of take a little look and see, is it busy inside there today or is it quiet? We're going to start with a little bit of breathing work. The breathing work will, one, help us get focused, help us get centered, okay? Help us start to warm up and shift our energy. So let's roll the shoulders back a couple times. Remember, anything I instruct you to do today, you have a choice, one, whether to do it or to skip it. Do it with a little more volume or vigor, or to do it with a little less volume and be a little more gentle, okay? Have that spectrum to work on, to do it a little more intensely, a little more vigorously, or to do it a little less intensely and do it a little more gently, okay? So keep those choices in mind. Let's take our first breath. Call it a centering breath with your arms out to your sides. Go ahead and sweep the arms up as you inhale. A nice big deep breath in. Go as high as you want with the arms. And then exhale. Turn the palms to face down and slowly press the hands right down to your lap in front of your belly. That's the exhale. So again, inhale. Sweep out and up. Sit tall. Exhale. Slowly press down and start to see if you can pull your navel in a bit. Let's do 3 more of these centering breaths. More like we're centering our awareness, bringing our energy and our attention right inward. Keep in mind your breath pattern, your breath length may be longer or shorter than mine. That's always perfectly okay. 1 more of these big breaths, arms out and up. Exhale, press the arms down. Good, and then leave the hands right here in front of the abdomen. You can rest them on your belly if you want, or they can hover a little bit out in front. And just breathe into your belly a few times. Three more of these. Breathe into the belly. Squeeze the belly in. Two more. All right, now we're going to do a breath next that's going to start to warm up both the physical body and the energy in the body. Okay, so as the arms get higher, know that you can stop at any level. So if you want to keep your arms low, you can. If you want to keep them shoulder height, or you might end up with them all the way overhead. All right, so we're going to take those arms out to start with. Open up the go higher, higher with the arms, stopping wherever you want. Breathe in. One more. Drop the arms all the way down. Give it a little shake, a little wiggle. I'm going to do that again. And breathe out. Let the arms come down. Just take a moment. Notice how you feel. Now, this is sort of hyperventilating us, giving us a little increase in volume of our breath and infusing us with a little more oxygen. We're going to do it one more time. You could stop anytime if you don't like the way it feels. So one more time. Inhale. And exhale it all the way down. Awesome. Now let's just sit up tall and twist to one direction and release. Sit up tall and gently twist in the other direction. Maybe that hand comes across and catches the other leg and release. One more time. Sit up tall and twist. Hand can come to that knee. And then release. Other way. Sit up tall and twist. And release. All right. Now a little side stretch. Reach one arm up. The other hand can be on the floor beside you or on your chair. And stretch up and over. And then let's pull that same arm back down. We're going to do three more on this same side. Inhale and reach as far over as feels comfortable. Exhale and bring it back down. Two more. Reach over. Pull down. Reach over and pull down. All right, let's pause a moment. Take a moment. I want you just to notice. Notice how that shoulder, that arm, that side of the body feels after doing the stretch just to one side. You'll notice there's a change, right? There's a change in temperature, maybe a change in just the overall sensation of that area of your body. And then we'll do the other side. So you'll take the hand down, maybe on the floor, maybe on the chair, and then reach up. Inhale and pull back down. Inhale, reach and pull back down. Two more. One more. And then pause. Again, just notice how that side feels. Notice the warmth in your arm, maybe the longer feeling in your side body there. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and transition out of our seat. And this is where I'm going to show you two different ways to do these next several poses. I'm going to show you how to do it standing up and using your chair. This means you won't have to get down on the ground. But then I'm also going to show getting down on the ground and doing it from there. Okay. So our first position is going to be either a hands and feet position with the hands in the chair or hands and knees down on the ground. Okay. And the first movement we're going to make is cat and cow. So we round it up towards the ceiling with our back And then flatten it out and lift the chest and maybe lift up the fanny a little bit. I find that knees bent help that to make that movement there. All right, so this is cat-cow in the chair, or come down. Maybe you need a blanket under your knees, and you can do this on the floor. Okay, so let's go ahead. A few more rounds. Pull the belly in, cat. Inhale, let the belly drop. 3 more times. Remember what I said about sort of your volume control. You decide how far you go with your movements and how much effort you put into it. All right, and then we're going to flatten it out. This is what we're going to call tabletop, right here in the middle, okay? Same thing if you're on the chair. You're just coming to where it feels like your back is about parallel with the ground. Now we're going to do a little strength work. Go ahead and just shift one leg back behind you, okay? So you're doing this if you're standing up. You're standing on your one leg and you're stretching one leg back, all right? And we're going to hold that leg nice and firm. Push through that foot like it's against a wall. And then this next part is optional. If you feel you can try a little more challenge, take the opposite arm and lift it up. I'll show the next round in the chair. We're going to hold this for 2 more breaths. And then release it down. Now go ahead and do your cat-cow 3 times. Round it up and arch gently. Keep going, round it, and arch. Now, like I said, I'm going to show the second round of that strength work, or that balance work in the chair. All right, so we all come to tabletop. Taking one leg back. You take it up as high as you feel like you can take it. Reach back with that foot. Make the leg long. When you're ready, opposite arm lifts up. If you're using a chair, maybe you bring it up to the top of the chair. Or maybe you let go altogether. 2 more breaths. And then bring that hand and knee down. Let's do cat-cow 3 times. Round it and flatten it. All right, very good. Now I'm going to stay on the chair, but really you can follow these instructions pretty easily down on the floor, and then I'll get down on the floor to show you how we'll do it from that position. Walking those feet back or tucking your toes under maybe on the floor. Push your hips back. Stretch out those arms. If you're down on the ground, you're walking those hands forward. And then we're going to shift it into a plank position. So this is a shift forward so that I'm pushing my chest away from the seat of the chair. My body's in a nice straight line. All right, so again, I'm going to shift this hips back, arms long, and then shift forward into that plank. All right, so I'm going to show you that on the floor now. So those of you who are staying down can try it here. Arms are forward. Push the hips back. Nice long arms. And then shift forward into that plank or push-up. Now, anyone who would like to pick up their knees here from the floor can do plank on the toes. All right, knees down. Push the hips back again. We're going to do this 3 more times. Shift forward. Nice strong push. Stay on the knees if you're on the floor, or come up on the toes. If you're up on the chair, you're on your toes already. Push the hips back. Take this long stretch through the arms. And then forward into that plank or push up. All right, now this time, if you'd like, down on the floor, you could do downward dog. Toes tuck under and pick the knees up. The chair is pretty much the same as it was before. Hips push back. Good, 1 more breath. Keep those knees soft if your hamstrings are tight. And then drop it down. Good. All right, we're going to come all the way up. So if you're down on the floor, start to make your way up to standing. All right. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way here. Now, you have the option still to use the chair. It's a great idea to keep yourself close to the chair if you want a little help with your balance. Okay, so stay right there and hold on to the chair anytime you need to. All right, so we'll all stand nice and tall now. Press the thighs back, lift the belly up, get as tall as you can, right up through the crown of your head. And then inhale, sweep those arms up, take a nice stretch for the ceiling. And then we sit back and down. So we're sitting back as if there's a chair back there behind us. The weight goes into the heels. The bottom reaches back. The arms can stay out in front or drop down in front of the chest or onto the thighs, your choice. Now you also get to choose how far do you want to sit? Do you want to squat really low? If it's not so great for your knees, stay up a little higher. All right, now here we go. Push back up, stretch up tall to the ceiling. And bring those hands to the heart. Step the one leg, either one, step it back. A nice long step. All right. So we're in somewhat of a stride, okay, or a slight lunge, and that front knee will bend any amount. Okay, so this is where if you had that chair and you wanted to touch the chair, you can put your hands down on it, okay? Or you can stay up, lift up through that belly. Maybe bring the arms up overhead. Good. 2 more breaths here. Inhale and reach up. Strong legs. Push them down. And then bring those hands to the heart. Notice that front leg is already in a bent knee position. We're going to see if we can step the back leg to match it. And then we're right back in our chair pose. Extend the arms if you'd like. Sit a little deeper if you want. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. All right, again, stand tall. Press the thighs back. Firm up and lift the belly. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sit down so that weight is in your heels. Remember, arms higher is going to be a little more work on your back, your shoulders. Come lower and experiment with what seems like the best thing for you today. Inhale, rise back up, stretch tall. Maybe even take a gentle stretch back. And then hands to the heart. And take that other leg back. All right, so just make sure you're doing the other side with this lunge or stride. All right, front knee bends however much you want to bend it, but I recommend that you don't go past the ankle too much, okay? It's just going to be safer on most people's knees to stay right here. This does plenty for us. No need to go further. Press back with that back leg. Maybe you have those hands on the chair. Remember that option, okay? Or reach the arms up. Take a few breaths here. Energize that body a little more if you want. That could mean you spread the fingers, that you press a little more firmly into the feet. All right, now we're going to step back into chair pose. Our front leg is already in that shape. So see if you can bring the hands down or touch your chair and step right back into that position. Maybe extend or raise the arms. And then push through the feet and rise up. Maybe there's a slight arch back. And then hands to the heart. All right, excellent. Now I'm going to turn the other direction. So I've been facing the side. Now I'm going to, the front of my mat. Now I'm going to face the side and step out with those feet wide. All right. Again, if you feel like you want that extra security for some balance, keep your chair somewhere where you can hold on at will, okay? Just have it handy. All right, let's start with the legs, both toes turning to the left a little bit, okay? So turning those toes a little bit and bending into that front knee, okay? So bend into that knee, push that leg out so that you get a good squeeze in your buttock. And then take the arms out and up. Good. Stretch through those arms. Again, we want to energize the body. You want to imagine that your arms, your legs are getting longer, stronger. And then we'll take a little stretch to the side. This could be hand on your chair or hand on your thigh. And then the other arm is going to reach over. If that's not comfortable on your shoulder, hand could be here on your hip. Good. And then bring it back up, arms spread out. And then drop the arms down. Straighten the knee that was bent, and let's turn the feet. We're going to just turn them the other direction. And bend the knee. All right. If you like having that chair, you could turn your whole body around and use the chair next to the other leg. Okay. Arms out. Energize arms, energize legs. And then we'll take that little side bend. So hand can come down to the chair, to the thigh, maybe the elbow down if you're ready to go a little further down. And then stretch over through that arm. Option to keep the hand on your hip instead. And then let's bring it up. And straighten the bent knee and turn. You want to turn the feet forward. Take the hands to your hips. Roll those shoulders back. Pull those elbows back. So we're opening up the chest. All right. And then tilt forward right here at the tops of your thighs, right at your hips. And you can come any amount. So I'm going to stay right here, keeping my hands on my hips. If you feel like you want to drop your hands down to the floor, and that's totally comfortable on your low back and in your legs, you could do that, okay? But there's no need to go that far if your body's not quite sure. Now I'm keeping my legs active, pushing into the outer edges of the feet, keeping my legs toned up and my belly drawn slightly in. All right, and then ease it up. Turn the toes. We're going to turn the toes out, turn the knees out, and then take it into a little baby squat. Okay. Now, if you're up for a deeper squat, feel free to go down a little lower, bend those knees a little bit more. Bring the arms out. Now, remember, if you want to keep a hold on to something, I encourage that as needed. All right, squeeze back between those shoulder blades. Pull back with the elbows, the hands. Good, and then straighten the knees, reach the arms up. And take it down to one side, doesn't matter which one. And then bring it back up. Come right back into our squat. Elbows pull back and down, knees bend any amount. And then reach up. And then stretch it to the other side. Back up. One more time. Sit down into that squat. 2 more breaths. And then bring the hands together. Walk the feet together. All right, now I'm going to use this chair to help me with balance. You could use your chair or a wall as needed. We're going to do tree pose. Stand on one leg, pick the other knee up a little bit, turn that knee out. Now that foot can be right at your ankle. It could be down, touching the floor. It could be up higher. It could even, for some folks, maybe come right up into the thigh. So wherever it is that you choose, find that place to work with your tree pose. Squeeze the hips in. Lift the belly up. And only if you feel like you want to try letting go, maybe bring both hands together. You can take those arms out if you would like. This can happen even if you're holding on. And then let's release it. Shake those limbs out. Other side. So stand on the other leg. Pick up the knee in front a little bit. Turn the knee out. And find that place to rest the foot. So remember, if balance is a challenge for you, start with those toes touching the ground. This is still most of your weight on your leg. It's starting to give you some of that work. Come up higher if you feel like you want to try taking that foot. Option to try to let go. It's okay to wobble. It's even okay to sort of fall out of the tree and have to reset. Maybe the arms spread out, your choice. Good. And then bring it slowly back down. All right, now we're going to wrap up with just a little bit of relaxation. You're going to have choices here. If you prefer not to get all the way down onto the ground, come and sit down in your chair again. All right. If you would like to get down on the ground or even on your bed, come on down, lie on your back. Okay. If you're sitting in the chair, I'll give you some basic instructions for anything that's not quite the same as lying down. So to start with, everyone turn the head right and left a few times. Spread the arms out to the side. Take a nice deep breath in. And then you're going to give yourself a hug. So just wrap those arms around the chest. You can tuck your chin into your throat just slightly. Now notice which arm is on top, which arm is higher. Inhale and take the arms wide. And then give that hug again with the other arm on top. Tuck the chin. And then inhale, open those arms back up. If you're lying down, you'll rock your knees gently from side to side a few times. If you're sitting up, just gently turn your whole body side to side a few times. Or you can turn the head alone a few more times. All right, now we'll bring it to stillness. For those lying down, you can keep your knees bent or stretch your legs out long. If you're sitting in the chair, drop your hands into your lap. Everyone bring their attention to their face for a few moments and just see if you can smooth out your brow. Relax your eyelids. Soften down through the cheeks. Let go of the jaw. And then find your breathing rhythm. And just see if it's possible to slow your breath down. Especially your exhale. Just slow that exhale down a little bit more each time. Three more breaths. All right, and then stretch the fingers, wiggle the toes. If you're lying down on the floor, bend your knees again if they're not. And slowly roll it over. You can make your way up to a seat, or if you're already seated in the chair, just sort of shift position, open the eyes. Just check in, notice how you're feeling. Does your body feel a little warmer or different in any way? Has your energy shifted? Even the mind. Things that were crowding that space earlier, have they shifted or moved on? All right, and then we'll just close our practice session with one final breath. Reach up with the arms, breathe in deep. Bring the hands to the heart. And I like to just end my classes by bowing the head with a little bit of gratitude. We're grateful to our bodies for participating. We're grateful to our breath for sustaining us. And we're grateful for our opportunities to use and move our bodies. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. If you have questions, we're happy to answer those. I think we're going to run a little closing clip and then come back and see if there's anything to discuss with you all. Thanks for joining me for yoga. Stay warm and safe out there across America today. Hope I can't hear you, Tawana.
All right, let's try that again. Folks, we're going to show you some information about upcoming events, and then we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us, folks. Remember, mindful movement every Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Hope to see you again next week. Take care.